Good morning, family. Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. Yes, he's not with us today. That comes later. Good morning, everyone. This is the 24th. Wow. 24th of December, our 24th day together. What a joy, what a privilege. Good morning. How are you? Yes, I missed our morning session. I think we're used to getting this hot cup of wiser in the mornings. Evenings just wouldn't do it for us. Well, that's the way we have begun, and maybe that's just the way we are adjusted. Good morning. So blessed to have you here, Donna. Hallelujah, good morning. Blessing, good morning. Emmanuel Ofem, Daniela Olutayo, Florence, Iguchiere, Leslie, good morning, Rosalind Onoloja. I'm going to send you a WhatsApp message. Cherry Obio Basi, good morning. Yes, I slept well. Gosh, when the alarm rang, I was like, are you serious? Time is, oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't get up till like 15 minutes later, but I slept well. I'm in the village, right? So there's Hamatan. So the place is cold. My skin is so fresh. I love it. Good morning, Blessing Daniel, Emmanuel Livina, Zita Okorie, Mrs. Inspirer, and Eze Philip. Georgie Cody Spiff, I see you. Lawrence Ekpo, good morning from Ghana. Yay, thank you for joining us. All right, we are glad that we are all here this precious day. How has WISER been for you? What has changed? What is changing? Especially for those of us who have been here before. Is this just a ritual that makes us happy? Or is it really doing something significant for us? I want us to catch ourselves so that we are not just ticking boxes. The good thing about ticking boxes being around wisdom is it's never lost. As long as we are engaging with the information, we don't know when it will bubble up in our spirits, in our remembrance, in our memory. You know, sometimes you learn something. We talked about it, I think that was 2 days ago, or was that yesterday, when sometimes we go off track and then we remember our way back because we knew the way in the first place. So yes, we might learn a few things. We will forget some of the things that we're not writing down. But there comes a time when it just comes up like, I knew this. Oh, I remember that. So it's still good to be in the place of wisdom constantly. I'm glad to see I've made decisions, choosing new paths, getting wiser. It's not just a ritual, it's a huge learning curve, learning to be more intentional. I'm learning new perspectives, making new decisions. Fantastic. At the airport yesterday morning, it was a madhouse. It was the kind of place where at some point I might have been triggered to shout at somebody, scream them down. I was just like, wow, thank God for WISER. It's just been reminding me a fool is known by what she says and how she says it, right? I'm going to be wise today. So even when somebody really tripped me up, I was so calm. I was so calm. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I wish the world could see me. I am controlled. I was so proud of myself, how I responded to the man involved. Just spoke to his wife, do this. They shifted. Thank you so much. You know, I was on a queue and it had gotten to my turn. Amidst that mad crowd, it had gotten to my turn to be attended to at the counter. My flight was supposed to be 7:10. There were people who had a 6:30 flight, and this was about 6:20 something. And they were shouting from behind me like, oh, they are on the Enugu flight. And that was the flight that they had already started announcing boarding. I think they were on the second boarding call. So what did I do? I told the guy, attend to them. Their flight is before mine. So I was thinking that, yeah, this is me. Typically, I would have done that, but maybe for one or two people. And then after that, I'll go, please, they're late. You should have left your house at 4 o'clock. I would have done the self-righteous thing, like, It's not my fault you're late. Please attend to me. I've been standing here for almost 2 hours. Please attend to me. Let me go. Am I the one who told her not to come on time? That could have been, not could, that would have been me before. Yeah, definitely. I may not have said it that way, but I would definitely have thought it. No, Joyce, I would have said it. I would have said it. I might have even looked at the person who like, Madam, won't you let me? I'll say, no, 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 don't bring you here. I'm not the one who made you late. I'm not Lagos traffic. I'm definitely not your alarm clock. I'm not life. I also have a flight and I've been standing here for 2 hours. Don't do that. Attend to me. But yesterday, gosh, I was controlled. I didn't do any of that. I actually fought for one person to be attended to. Unfortunately, she couldn't get in. The flight was gone. Her children were there. She was crying and all of that. And I was able to speak to her to put it together. One woman came back and actually said to me, oh, thank you so much. Because I was like, they've shut it. They've stopped taking people on that plane. That door has been closed. That nobody's boarding anymore. So staying here shouting, screaming is changing nothing. I held her arm. I said, ma'am, let's do what's wise. You need to get to Enugu today, right? Let's go figure out what next. Is there any other flight? Their next flight here is 7 p.m. Do you want to wait that long? Do you want to go back into town? Or do you want to find out who else is flying this morning and possibly use this other ticket to come back? But let's figure out a way forward. Let's do the wise thing. She was like, oh, thank you so much. I was so proud of me. So I'm happy. It's in the small things, right? I was just so proud of me. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of each and every one of us who is making the effort to live what we know, to be what we know. Every step counts. We're in chapter 24 today. Hallelujah. Glory to God. We are in chapter 24 today. We are still in the 30 precepts, the 30 principles that wisdom had said she was sharing with us. So principle 19 says, don't envy bad people. How many times have we heard this during WISER? Almost countless right now, right? We've heard it at least 10 times. At least 10 times since day one. And if something is constantly being repeated, come on, that's the word for us. Don't envy bad people. Don't even want to be around them. Don't say, well, maybe I will learn a thing from two. Wisdom is saying, run, you can learn from other people. All they think about is causing a disturbance. All they talk about is making trouble. Run. Principle 20 said, it takes wisdom to build a house, and understanding to set it on a firm foundation. It takes knowledge to furnish its rooms with furniture and beautiful draperies. It's the same building. What is that house that we are building in 2023? Is it the house of business? Is it the house to live in? Is it a house of a happier life? I think we talked about this last year and possibly the year before. That I believe that everybody, yes, I believe that everybody should have it as a goal or at least a desire to live a happier life. Not just a fulfilled life, not just a productive life, but also a happier life. So if we're going to build a happier life as a house, it will take wisdom to understand the foundation. What do I require to make my life happier? It will require certain kind of knowledge to furnish my life with furniture and beautiful draperies. If that building a house is better, working better with colleagues or working better where you work, it takes wisdom. It won't happen on its own, right? We will need to learn more. We would need to study for the place that we are going to build the house that we want. So wisdom has told us again and again and again and again and again. To be wiser, we will be learners. We will be students. We will be students. We will be what? Students. It takes digging to even understand yourself better enough to know what is good for you, what helps you be productive, and what makes you happy. Happiness is important. Let's not take it for granted. Happiness is what? Important. Some people will say it's important. 21, principle 21. which is verses 5 and 6. It says, it's better to be wise than strong. Intelligence outranks muscle any day. Please tell that to Ukraine and Russia. Strategic planning is the key to warfare. To win, you need a lot of counsel. You need a lot of counsel. You know, the other day I just heard the headline. I didn't listen to the news and I didn't Google it because I didn't feel like that. For the first time since the invasion of Russia on Ukraine in February, this is the first time the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, is going to the US to have a conversation of this manner. I said that conversation should have been had before February. Wisdom outranks muscle any day. This is just a living, breathing example of current reality. And because I had read 2 years ago, was that 2 years ago? Or was that last year? I had read the book about Angela Merkel. And she has always been 150% for having wise conversations. What's happening between Ukraine and Russia, I think could have happened a long time. She had been interceding. Let's talk. Having strong arms and strong guns will solve nothing. Let's keep talking. Let's keep managing egos. She's like, it's our reality. Egos are usually bigger than countries. And sometimes that's all. When somebody's ego is tipped, we go to war. She had been all about that, interceding, telling the Americans to stay away, telling here to stop that. We need the right counsel. See what happened now. Not long. How many months was it she left office? And everything began to crumble. Now, this is my personal perspective. Some people have all sorts of perspectives. Look, nothing on the face of this earth will make me change. Well, let me not say that. That's too final. I don't know yet what on this earth will change my mind about it. I know when I used to say like, hey, we can go to war after all. But the wiser I have gotten, the more I've seen. See what wisdom says here? Wisdom is better than muscle. So whether it's muscle, whether it is gun, knife, bazooka, nuclear weapons, wisdom is still better than strength. Intelligence outranks a fight any day, no matter how much we want to fight. Strategic planning is the key to warfare, that you can have warfare without going to war, right? Is that not what we call a Cold War? To win, you need a lot of good counsel. If you're going to war, whether with fights, with guns, or with brains, you need a lot of good counsel. If you're going into business, that is warfare. If you're going into politics, that is warfare. If you're going into marriage, best believe there is a significant amount of warfare, because there will be the case of conflict of interests and conflict of personalities. Let me ask, has there ever been within the last 1 week where you'd said, oh my gosh, Joyce, you shouldn't have done that. Joyce, how could you do this? Or within the last 1 month, was there a time when you looked at yourself and were like, oh my gosh, this girl, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep making these mistakes all the time? Has it happened to you before or recently, where you were angry with yourself about something you did or said or thought, or somewhere you went, something you had promised yourself you wouldn't do, but you had done again and again and again? Has it happened to you about you? Please, responses. I want to see. Yes. To yourself that you know more than anybody in the world. You've been angry with yourself. Then you marry and you're living with another human being. No matter how much you love, there will be those points where you will be angry with them, like, because it even happens to you. It happens to me. I get angry with me for choices I make with all I know. So why do I think there will be no conflict with another human being? There will be times when I will go like, so you see, even in marriage, there will be warfare, there will be conflict. So counsel, recounsel. Wisdom will be better than strength any day. Strength is what will say, make us say things like, well, me, don't worry, me, I'm your dishi. No matter what he does, I will just keep straight face. That strength will be destroyed one day. Wisdom is what you need to say. You need wisdom to know how to address the situation, what to say, when to say it, how to go about it, how to solve it, rather than say, no, me, I know how to do silent treatment. I'm strong like that. 3 weeks, if I won't even say him, I would just be looking. That strength that will fail. Wisdom is saying that strength will fail. The strength to say, well, me, I just, if they do me anyhow, they will see anyhow. We need strategic planning to win. And winning in a marriage, for example, is not winning to be the right one, to be the one on top. It's for both of us to win together, right? So we need strategic planning. How are we going to resolve this? When we have such and such conflict, what are we going to do? When we are both very angry and are losing patience with each other and are shouting at the tops of our voices, what is the fail safe? What is the thing to do? If we need to write it and put it on our mirror, let's write it and remember that whenever we get very angry, this is the thing we're going to do. If we need counsel, this is where we're going to go. If we want to resolve this is what we will do. It's okay to have those strategic plans and not say, well, when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. That's not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. Hope supports good strategy. Hope can give birth to good strategy. Hope can facilitate strategy, but hope itself is not a strategy. I don't even know if it's a tactic. Perhaps it's a tactic to helping a full strategy materialize. To win, I need a lot of good counsel. We need great counsel. So we'll continue to stay around wisdom. All right. So somebody say, stay around. Stay around. Principle 22, wise conversation is way over the head of fools. In a serious discussion, they haven't a clue. Remember, wisdom has been saying to us, don't give too much attention to the fool. Just focus on your focus. The person, this is principle 23, the person who's always cooking up some evil soon gets a reputation as a prince of rogues. Fools incubate sin. Cynics desecrate beauty. These people are not here. Nobody here is one who is cooking up evil. No one here gets a reputation as prince of rogues. No one here is incubating sin. No one here is a cynic that desecrates beauty. We are students who question everything that we hear, see, and already think we know so that we might improve and thereby enhance beauty, the beauty that wisdom brings. Principle 24, if you fall to pieces in a crisis, there wasn't much to you in the first place. This is one of my most repeated verses to myself. If you fall to pieces in a crisis, there wasn't much to you in the first place. If you fall to pieces when there is kasala, when kasala bursts, it means say before safe, you were not strong. It's not only when there is peace that we know we are wise. In fact, we really know we are wise when there is crisis. Trouble, wahala brings out your reality. brings out your truth, brings out my truth. When there is conflict, how I respond shows where I was even when there was no conflict. So, what are we made of? What are we made of? You see, the truth is bitter. Sometimes the truth really slaps us and hurts us, but then it heals us. I always use the iodine or the methylated spirits example. How you are hurt, but when you pour that tincture, that iodine or something, it will hurt so bad, you will scream. But then it brings relief. It dries up the wound, makes it clean. Somebody wants to go through surgery. If they don't give you anesthesia to make you sleep or to deaden that area, and they try to stitch you when you are wide awake, the pain is terrible, but then it's healing. Truth is like that sometimes. It hurts so bad, but then it heals. If in the time of conflict or trouble, crisis, when you've lost your job, lost your marriage, lost your respect and dignity in society, when you've done something that is really bad and it has come back to haunt you, and people are giving you the looks, and sometimes not even just about people, when you're in a bad place, when there is crisis, when somebody dies and you are caught up in the middle, all sorts of crises. Fire guts your house down. There is an accident. Somebody's in hospital, maybe even you. Something so bad, one needs to be amputated. I mean, real crisis. A child dies. A friend. There's an accusation at work. You are arrested, put in prison, or put in police custody. That's not the time to fall to pieces. That's not the time to fall to pieces. Wisdom is saying here, if we fall to pieces at that time, there wasn't much to us in the first place. How are we ready? How are we prepared to deal with crisis should crisis arise? Is that the time to say, oh God, you have abandoned me? It means we never really understood God in the first place. It means we never really understood life in the first place, that life happens. It means we were living a fool's paradise and calling it faith. It means there was never faith in the first place. It was deception. When your spouse abandons you with 5 children and then the landlord throws you out, which is the reality of people, possibly including the one who has just written it. That's not the time to fall to pieces if you were really wise in the first place. That's the time to pull on all the resources of wisdom within, only if the resources of wisdom were truly within. The person who falls into major crisis and says, all things, including this one that is killing me right now, work together for my good because I do love God and I know I am called according to his purpose. That's the person who was really a person of faith in the beginning. But the person who says, after all I've done, God, I've been paying my tithe. I've been giving to the poor. Why will you abandon me like that? You didn't understand. You didn't read Job. You didn't get it. You didn't read Job. You didn't understand Joseph. You didn't. You see, Naomi, you had no clue what her story was, that she lost her husband and her 2 sons and had to move back to the land that they left for greener pasture. You didn't understand it. You were just fooling yourself. So in 2023, none of us will fool ourselves and say we have faith when all we have done is rub powder to look like we have faith. Because in time of crisis, the real strength has to emerge. When you are accused wrongly and falsely and cast outside, and even the people you loved and trust will not defend you because they're like, well, I don't know if you really did it though, so me, I'm just minding my business. And you're like, what? You mean you don't believe? And they're like, well, this life, I don't know. That's not the time to say, I will never trust another human being. Human beings are crazy. I will never in my life let anybody else into my heart. She. That's bad. Shh. There wasn't much to you in the first place. That's the time to look and go, so this is what it feels like to be Joseph, whose brother sold him. What a privilege. What a privilege to finally experience it. Wow. Wow. So this is what it feels like. This is the pain Joseph went through. Oh my word. This is painful. Gosh, God, this hurts. To be sold out like this, it hurts. I am in so much pain. But at least I have one model, if not any other. I have one, only one. And that's all I need. There is Joseph, that they sold him. But can I draw strength and borrow belief that they sold him to his greatness? So anybody who has sold me out has sold me to my greatness. Oh, I've been sold to my greatness. Therefore, I do what Joseph did. I forgive. I am in so much pain. I am in so much pain, but I will do same because I have a model to follow. I'm in pain, gosh, I'm in pain. You can acknowledge your pain. In fact, you should acknowledge your pain. I am so hurt. But I understand that this is not the place to fall to pieces. This is the place to keep my eyes open and watch out for what the next level is. This is the place to look out for and see how I can serve even in this place of my difficulty. Even when he was in prison, he was the preferred prisoner. So now that I am here, how do I become the preferred prisoner? How do I begin to rally round to ensure that other prisoners with me here in Kuje prison become ready for greatness after here? How do I? You see, what is inside of you is what should show in the day of crisis. Hence, we must feed ourselves. We're not feeding ourselves with wisdom because we are afraid of crisis. We're feeding ourselves with wisdom because we need to live life to the fullest, including when crisis arises. I needed to spend time on this so that we can catch ourselves in the time of crisis. Because in the time of crisis, you may not be able to reach Coach JD. Neither may you be able to reach. In fact, Coach JD might be one of those people who will so disappoint you, you'll be shocked. Like, did Coach JD really hear that I am in this prison and she has not come to visit me? She's still doing WISER. Wow, human beings. God, I will never trust another person. See? I sent message to Coach JD that to tell her that they arrested me. And all she could say was, the God of Joseph will help me. Thunder fire. Oh my gosh. She only gave me what she knows. Why am I finding that so funny right now? She said the God of Joseph will be your God. Oh my word. Principle 25. Principle 25, rescue the perishing. Don't hesitate to step in and help. If you say, hey, that's none of my business, I don't care if people are being destroyed by the floods in in the South. I don't care right now if people are being destroyed by Boko Haram. I don't know if what do you call them, cattle headers, what do you call them, the headsmen and ungun men are walking around the streets. That's none of my business. I don't know if people are perishing from pain and from all the other issues. That's none of my business. Wisdom is saying, will that get you off the hook? Someone is watching you closely, someone not impressed with weak excuses, meaning that if we are not part of rescuing the perishing, someone is not impressed. We all will need, I dare say, have to be involved in rescuing the perishing in our space, whether it is those who are perishing in wisdom, perishing in finance, perishing in strength, perishing in health, perishing in wisdom. Expects us to be part of rescuing people. So that person who is questioning himself or herself and is saying, I don't know enough to help others. What I know is so small. How am I going to help other people in my space? What you know is enough. What you know is enough to support someone. What you know is enough to help rescue someone. Be a part of the person's rescue. Wisdom is saying to us, someone is watching closely and someone is not impressed by weak excuses like, it's not my business. I'm not from there. I am not Muslim. I am not Christian. I am not Ijo. I am not Igbo. I no be me, no be my papa work. Weak excuses. Excuses are real, remember, they can also be very weak. Eat honey, dear child. This is principle 26. It's good for you. And delicacies that melt in your mouth, yum. Likewise, knowledge and wisdom for your soul. Get that and your future secured. Your hope is on solid rock. Let knowledge and wisdom be like delicacies in your mouth. Let us be happy and glad, excited to interact with wisdom. Let wisdom not become a chore. Yes, that we know we want to study more and be wiser doesn't mean it should become a chore. Like, there's this book JD said we should go and read, Women, Work, and the Art of Savoir Faire. I got my copy yesterday, my old copy from 2013. I started reading it again yesterday. Women, Work, and the Art of Savoir Faire. I saw the book, JD said we should read it. That is good. Business Sense and Sensibility. Oh, wow. When am I going to finish this book? I beg. Is there no summary? Let me just go and read the last chapter and see. Okay, I read the introduction and the last chapter. 218 chapters, page 252. What's it? I mean, let wisdom and knowledge become like delicacies that we look forward to. For some of us, it might take some time to get there. It's part of the journey. We keep moving. You catch yourself when you want to take the shortcut to knowledge, when you just want to read the summary. Catch yourself and say, Joyce, let it be like delicacies. And that has been happening to me at least for about 2 years. When I just want to read the tiny small, and I say, no, Joyce, go and read the full thing of 14 pages. Go and read through it. Let it become like delicacies that melt in your mouth. And guess what? I'm getting more used to it. There were times I would be so impatient, and then I would now do that thing that many of us do from oversabi of sorts. We'll now say things like, should I say, the attention span of people these days is like 8 seconds. But the attention span is okay to finish 11 episodes per season, 10 seasons of one series. See, be careful where you use this information of what do you call it? Attention span. You give attention to what is like delicacy to you. Simple as that. So, as much as there is some quotes to, I have struggled with that information. I did a lot of studying around it. There was nothing cogent enough for me to carry. Please, if you find that any research that is cogent enough to support the fact that it is said our attention span is like 8 to 10 seconds. Please, if you find that research, drop it for me. I have searched and searched. I haven't found one. What I have found is that attention is dependent on interest. That's what I have. Please, I'm giving you the challenge. When you find it, drop it in the WISER group. I will read it. I will read every page, every line. Go and look for it. What I have found myself, and maybe I will look for one or two and drop. Nancy, please remind me. Our attention span is as long as our interests. That's why you can read a novel that is 600 pages long because it's sweet and finish it. But somebody gives you a textbook of 30 pages and says, interest is different. Interest feeds attention. These gists right now is sweet. We will stay here WISER 1 hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes. But go to one lecture that you don't like, and after 25 minutes, your whole body is scratching. Your attention is dependent and fed by interest. Interest. So it's good for me. Therefore, I will continue to desire it like delicacies that melt in my mouth. Then my future is secure and hope is on solid rock. Please be a student. Don't take what I've said like this. Go and study it and be sure that I'm even right. Please. Please study it, search it out, find it out. Okay? And let's put in context that attention of 8 to 10 seconds. Perhaps it's in context. In fact, I think it was in context, but what context? Principle 27. Don't interfere with good people's lives. Don't try to get the best of them, no matter how many times you trip them up. God-loyal people don't stay down long. Soon, they're up on their feet while the wicked end up flat on their faces. Now let's link this to what happens in crisis. Is it possible that wisdom is saying here that if you end up flat on your face in the day of crisis, you can be qualified as wicked? Well, that's just me reading meanings into things. The truth is bitter. I ain't no wicked person. I ain't falling flat on my face in the time of crisis. If anybody tries to trip me up, I'm going to stay on my feet. So nobody should try to get the best of me. Don't try to interfere with my life. You won't get it. If you trip me up, I will only go on the up and up. I am like Joseph. I am like Daniel. I am like David. If you try to come after me like Saul was after David, guess what? I will have the victory because I'm not going to stoop to your level. I will stand with God. David said, I could have killed you, my king, but I know that you are the Lord's anointed. And so I just want to say to you, my king, please stop trying to kill me. Don't fight a battle with me. That battle is already lost. I am protected by God, King. Please, I'm not going to fight dirty with you. I'm going to be walking up and I'll be level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. I'll be like, level up, level up, level up. Whoosh. I will stay up and I would not stay down. And even if I go down, I won't stay down long. God loyal people don't stay down long. We are God loyal people here. We will not stay down long because there are times we might be beat down. For a season, Joseph might have been beat down. He was sold. Daniel might have been beat down. He was thrown into the lion's den. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego might have been beat down. They were thrown into the fire. Naomi and Ruth were beat down. Their husbands died. One's husband and sons, the other one's husband died, and they had to return. That's being beat down. But did they stay down? Now, that's the issue. So don't think that we, as God loyal people, are exempt from being beat down. We are not. What we are exempt from is what? Is what? Staying down. It's okay to be beat down, but we will stand up again. We will not stay down. We will level up. We will bounce back up. Soon they're up on their feet while the wicked end up flat. A righteous man falls 7 times. He will rise again. The downfall of a man or a woman is not the end of life. It's just a scratch. We'll get back up. Principle 28. Don't laugh when your enemy falls. Don't gloat over his collapse. God might see and become very provoked and say, why are you rejoicing? Why is her pain making you happy? Do you like your pain? Why is her tragedy making you joyful, Joyce? Why are you popping champagne because you heard she fell? Why is it sweeting you? She's human like you. She made errors like you. She might have been wicked, but maybe that was all she knew. Don't gloat. Don't gloat over your enemy's fall. Don't laugh. There's nothing funny about it. Another human being has just gone down. Another human being that could have been standing up. In fact, that's a sad day. I wish this didn't have to happen. I wish these circumstances were different. They are not. Don't gloat. You see why we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. The powers that are sometimes, many times, generated by the kind of interactions we have. Perhaps this person interacted with what she thought was right. She stayed around bad people. You know how wisdom has been telling us, run away from bad people, run away from bad people, run away from them. She didn't know to run, so she stayed, and then she became bad herself. Those are the powers that be. So she is not my enemy. It's the powers in her space. I don't wrestle against this human being. This person is not my problem. It is the principalities of knowledge and wisdom and networks that are the issue. Those are the things I pull down. When the human being falls down, I pay my condolences and show my apologies and regrets. Because the intention was never for my kind, or like it's popular now to say, for my gender, to fall. No, it's principalities and powers that should fall. I won't gloat. Verse 29, Principle 29, verses 19 to 20. Don't bother your head with braggarts, people who are always bragging, or wish you could succeed like the wicked. How many times have we read this now? Those people have no future at all. They are headed down a dead-end street. Please take it. If wisdom hasn't said this to us, I'm sure she has said it 20 times. Don't bother yourself with them. They have their end. Focus on your focus, which is doing right. Principle 30. Remember, wisdom had said she was sharing with us 30 principles. Fear God, dear child. Respect your leaders. Respect them. He didn't say you must agree with them. He said respect them. Don't be defiant or mutinous. Don't go trying to kill somebody and overthrow them. Without warning, your life can turn upside down. And who knows how or when it might happen. Angela Merkel would say, rather than be defiant and mutinous, she would have that difficult conversation. She will sit at that table and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I believe in. This is how we should adjust. This is how we should adjust. She would have the conversation. She would not run away from having the discussion, because I'm not going to be mutinous. I will be here and have this conversation. I will support you through what you're doing. You will just know that my mind is we should be doing it this way instead. If we don't respect our leaders, without warning, our lives can just turn upside down. But that's nobody here. We all will show respect and have conversations. We will not be blindly mutinous. We will not be rude, insultive, and destructive because we're trying to prove a point. We will protest, and protest within the what is expected in the law without becoming defiant. We'll protest to speak up with respect. More sayings of the wise. Verse 23 says it's wrong, very wrong, to go along with injustice of any kind. We are those who are standing with the truth. Verse 24, 25, whoever whitewashes the wicked gets a black mark in the history books, but whoever exposes the wicked will be thanked and rewarded. Expose the wicked. Don't whitewash them, even if they were your father or your mother or your sister, brother, or your sponsor. Don't whitewash them, either out of fear or out of what's in it for you. Wisdom is clear. Don't do it. An honest answer is like a warm hug. Say the truth, no matter how much it hurts. Just find the best way to say it. Say the truth. Say the truth. Don't be a flatterer. If it's not true, don't say, hey, how now? This your hair is fine. No, when you know it's not fine, look for what is fine rather and say, oh, I like the color of your hair. As simple as that. I may not like the hairstyle. You know, fine, you know, fits you in my eye, but that's my business, not yours. So if I must compliment, then if the hair is not fine, look for something else and say, oh, how now? It's so good to see you. If that's true, leave it there. It's good to see you. I can't find anything on you to compliment. Your shoes are dirty. Your dress is wrinkled, but you showed up, and I am glad you showed up. So let's focus on that. I am glad you're here. I'm glad to see you. We move. Not, oh, now you look so well, when you are wondering, what the hell? Why is she looking so sick? So be careful. Don't whitewash. Be honest. And when the person says, how do I look? Say, well, you look tired. What's the challenge? You look tired. Why weren't you able to iron? What's the issue? You say it with concern, not you look so tired. What rubbish? What's this? You look tired. Tell me, what's the issue? How can I help? You know, I love you. Let's do this. Verse 27. First, plant your fields, then build your barn. Don't spend your money renting shop for business you have not tested. First, plant your fields. That's why even in business school, there's something called proof of concept. You say you want to start selling Ankara. Don't go and rent shop to go and buy trailer load of Ankara when you have never sold Ankara to 200 people. Don't do what? Try it. First, plant your fields, then build your barn. Start selling from your booth. Start selling from your house. Start selling from your phone. See what kind of Ankara people are buying. See how they order, when they order, how many they are willing to buy. Then be sure that this shop you want to go and put in Ogbogoro they are willing to come all the way to Ogbogoro, or people around Ogbogoro are willing to come buy that quality of Ankara and at that cost. Not just because your online business has been thriving, you go and open shop in Ikoyi. Meanwhile, you did not notice that all the people, or 95% of the people who were buying your Ankara, were buying from Lagos Island or Surulere. But you just felt, this thing is good. So let's open shop. Where now Ikoyi, they move markets now. You open in Ikoyi and you're wondering what's going on. People in Ikoyi are not wearing Ankara. Hello. They're wearing Swiss voile, others stuff. Now that's just me being silly by using that example. But what's the proof of the concept? Why are you building a barn when you haven't planted your fields? Why are you building a barn? You haven't planted. You haven't sown the seeds yet. You sow the seed, it might take 3 months to harvest. It might take 5 months to harvest before you need a barn. A barn is where you keep harvest. Don't say, I want to start farming business. What's the first thing you want to do? Let me build the barn first and buy all my equipment. Where is the land? Who are the people going to till the land? How much fertilizer do we need? How often are we going to cultivate this land? Before we start thinking of where we're going to keep harvests. See, wisdom is all precept upon precept, line upon line. Look. Sako, my brother, God bless you too, greatly. Test the waters. Testing the waters is not a sign of lack of faith. It's a sign of wisdom. Plant your fields first, then build your barn. Have lunch, dinner, breakfast with this person, converse about everything before you say, we are marrying. Understand this person and how they make decisions and all before you go into business partnership with them. Don't just say it's my cousin brother or my cousin sister. Test it, check it. That's what wisdom is saying. First, plant your field. Then build your barn. Please don't go and misquote me and say, you want to test the waters by doing that thing. So you know that this marriage will work or not. Oyo. First, plant your fields, then build your barn. Verses 28 and 29. Don't talk about your neighbors behind their backs. No slander or gossip, please. Don't say to anyone, I'll get you back for what you did to me. I'll make you pay for what you did. Don't do it. It might go around and they might hear about it. And even if they never hear about it, you and God know what you're doing. It's beneath us. Sometimes I still cringe at one or two things I said behind the backs of certain people. And I'm like, oh, Joyce, you didn't. But I did. It leaves a sour taste. It makes us less than what we should be. It makes us less when we go behind our neighbors and speak behind them. The person we gossip to also would keep a certain perception of us, like, so with Joyce, we talk about this person like this, and she's there smiling with the person. It means say my own. You know, sometimes we give this gossip because we want to be the first to break the news. Like, did you know? Did you hear? Do you know? She's my person. That's why I know it's her. First pride, then the fall. No slander or gossip, please. If your neighbor has done something you don't like or you heard something and you must confirm, I don't know what's your appropriate level right now, you might want to go and say, this is what I heard. I didn't like it. I brought it to you. I don't know where the story is coming from. Maybe you want to quell it. What's bringing it? Well, if you're offended that I brought it, I'm so sorry. It was from a good place. I just felt I should bring it to your attention that this story is going round about you. And perhaps you even know who started it, or where it's coming from, and how to curb it. Uncomfortable, but done. 30 to 34. One day, I walked by the field of an old lazy bones, and then past the vineyard of a slum. They were overgrown with weeds, thick with thistles, all the fences broken down. I took a long look and pondered what I saw. The fields preached me a sermon, and I listened. They said, a nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there, sit back, take it easy. Do you know what comes next? Just this. You can look forward to a dirt poor life with poverty as your permanent house guest because you were lazy or you were a slob doing things without excellence, diligence, and prudence. And then the fields will start preaching sermons. The owner of this field, my madam, my oga, every day they will sleep small, they will nap here, they will chill there, they will say something must kill a man, they must say, this life now one. Every other day they're taking breaks, and hence these fields are bad. We can't yield much because the person who owned us or owns us doesn't give us much. She just gives us the barest minimum. At least she shows up at work. But does she study to be a better worker? No. Does she try to review to improve her relationships at work? No. She's just showing up at work. She comes to the field anyway and she takes it as it has passed. I've passed. Today I went, I signed my name, I came out. What did I bring to the field? Nothing. I sat there and I said, well, say na government I dey work for, and this government work, no fit kill yourself. I'm in Ministry of Agriculture in a Ebonyi state where not much is going on. I'm working right here in Ministry of Special Duties in Bayelsa. What do you want me to do? I come to work, I put data for my phone, I watch Nollywood. Yes, now me they come the farm. I no fit kill myself. Maybe my papa work. You see me in this jigawa where they work for ministry. Give me one ministry that we laugh at. When we say health or education, it's like they sound serious. Hey, I work in Ministry of Women Affairs. As you see me so, here in Zigawa State, I talk am for morning. Me, I dey talk am for say I dey work for Ministry of Women Affairs. And the work no day here plenty. They come up for here. They come up for here. Ministry of Interior is supposed to be big business, so because they cover the police and all. But you see me now. Yes, so actually, I'm working in Ministry of Orientation and International Affairs, Ministry of Interior. So they come work every day, but work is not working. So I come and sit down, I gist with people, we eat granite and diet. Diet, that pancake that has pepper and onions inside. People in ministry, they like to eat diet. I come here, I eat puff, eat diet, do my own, push fire, go back. This woman, she says she's looking for her land paper because we're working in Ministry of Land. She don't know that when she come here, she will greet all of us well. Greet us. She will greet us. She just came and say she wants to. Is that how you work here in government? She doesn't know it's government office she's coming to. Is it my father's work? Now come and say she wants to recover her father C of O. She wants her father land rent documents that he have paid last when it was 1984. That me, me. So Jegede Shokoya, father of 7 children, I will stand up, leave this my diet and my puff. I will come and go upstairs and go and climb and be looking for fire of 1984. Thunder. I for tell her, say thunder will fire her, but she's from my place. You can look forward to a dirt poor life. It's funny, but it's the way many of us are living our lives, our family lives. Anyhow, this man wants to be, let him do. These children will not kill me. If people like, kill yourselves, it's not me you kill. And we are not putting in the work to guide, to teach. See. Me, I've said it in this my life. These my in-laws. Look, I leave them where they are. I'm not making any effort whatsoever to try and be anybody's friend. I didn't come here to marry them. I married their son. I married their daughter. Look. Please, let me just stay where I am. Check it. A nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there. We're about to sign this new contract to do this business. Have we checked the contract? And which contract? This person is not the person who I've been doing business with. I beg, just give them, let them sign. Have we looked through that all the conditions are adjusted to the realities of 2022 or 2023? No, now, Joyce, they overdo now. I beg, give this person. It's not the person who I've been doing business with for 9 years. Then in 9 years, Asala Combos. No, it's not you alone. No, I got knocked out. I really got knocked out. Yes, I'm back. So perhaps wisdom is saying to us, we've had enough for today. Everybody go and do as you have heard. I see a question here, so I'm not going to overlook it. She says, or he says, Genevieve, so I think it's a girl, Genevieve. What if the in-laws are catastrophic? Isn't preferred to give them their distance? Yes, everything, please, everything is in context. You might have done your work, done your due diligence, seen that this is not the place to even smile around. Everything is in context. That's why we're students. Students check per time, constantly check. Students are not followers who just do. Students question, interrogate, and then make decisions based on what is checked, not just what is learned or assumed. Because when you learn something, it might not be applicable to every situation, right? That's why one of the greatest takeaways from WISER 2022, I beg your pardon, is be a student, not a follower. Question it all, test it all again and again and again and again. Let's work our fields. Let's keep naps for nap time. Let's keep off days for off days. In 365 days in a standard year, the number of days ideally we should be off work based on the 1 day to rest that God prepared for us is 52. 52. 365 minus 52. I'm not going to use my brain to do that calculation. I'm going to use my calculator. Minus 52. If David is here, he will just roll his eyes at me. So 313 days a year. 313 days a year. 365 minus 52 is 313. We should be working. Even if we say, okay, 2 days a week, I'm asking, why is it 2 days a week that you really have off? Is it because Saturday and Sunday are weekends? That's us stretching it a little. It's 1 day for rest. And so you're going to decide if it's 366 days a year, it can be 314. You're going to decide if you're going to decide what's important to you in 2023. Whether you are resting on 1 day a week and the other day you go to church or something, you worship and you go back home to focus on family or something, or you know that you rest 1 day in a week and the other day you invest it all in church. And the reason why I talk about church is that many of us here in the WISER family are kind of people who are very committed in church. We are leading one group or the other, and if we're not careful, we stay for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 services maybe, and then we have meetings all through the day, and we get home at 5, 6, and before you know it, we're back to work. And Saturday may not really have been the rest day. And even some of us take a leave, and during the leave or vacation is when many of us are supposed to be resting, but then that's when we go and focus on our side hustle, as it were. Point is, you have 52 days given by God in his infinite wisdom and mercy to rest. Use them. Don't use 200. And don't use 25 either. Try. Find the days to rest, because God made us so. And after rest, get back to work and give it the full strength, full vigor, depending on what your work is. I love you so much. Cheers to life. Cheers to health. Grateful to God for wisdom today, for strength to listen and also to do. Love you lots to all of us here and to those who are watching the replay. Cheers. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.